Hello friends. So today I'm going to discuss something about two important carbohydrate metabolism cycles that happens in the plant body. Okay. One most important and uncanny, a strange cycle is CAM pathway. The full form of this is crassulacean acid metabolism. Crassulacean acid metabolism cycle. Now, before going into the detailed discussion of what crassulacean acid metabolism is, let's have a brief breakthrough on the C3 and the C4 pathway. C3 pathway is the Kelvin-Benson cycle that happens to be happening in the bundle sheath cell of the palisade parenchyma or the spongy parenchyma of the leaf tissues, the mesophyll tissues, and also the C4 pathways happens in the mesophyll cells of the leaf tissues, right? Now the C4 pathway is the Hatchins-like pathway, which is also dark reaction which occurs in the absence of the photosynthetic pigments, and the C3 pathway Kelvin-Benson cycle is also dark reaction which happens in the absence of the photosynthetic pigment. The bundle sheath cells where the Kelvin-Benson cycle is happening, the C3 cycle is happening, the photosystem 2 is absent in those cases, and the C4 cycles where in the mesophyll cells where the C4 pathway is happening, the photosystem 2 is present in those cases. Okay. Now the thing is, the C4 pathway and the C3 pathway, they have some uncanny fashion. They have a very different orientation and specificity to occur in different types of plants. For example, the C3 cycle, the C3 plants are having the C3 cycle. Okay. The C3 plants and the C3 cycle, irrespective of the C3, C4 and the CAM plants, are occurring in all the plants, all the photosynthetic plants, irrespective of what the plant is adapted to or specified for, either it's C4 or C3 or CAM. So the C3 cycle occurs in the bundle sheath cells in all the plants. The C4 cycle, this cycle specifically, occurs in the C4 plants as well as in the CAM plants. And the CAM cycle occurs only in the CAM plants. Okay. Now the C3 plants, and C4 plants, these are the dark reaction organizing or the reactions that happens in the absence of light. So photosynthesis has two basic phases, as we know: the photophosphorylation, the light reaction or the Hill reaction, and the dark reaction. The light reaction comprises of the photophosphorylation, cyclic and non-cyclic, which helps in creating ATP through the chemoosmotic pathway from ADP and also producing the protons and the electrons in the H plus and OH minus radicals respectively, right? The OH minus radicals helps in donating electron to the non-cyclic photophosphorylation as also to the electron transport chain that happens in the mesophyll cells and the bundle sheath cells or in the mitochondria of the plant body, and the H plus of the protons helps in changing the substrates, helps in the quantization of the substrates like the intermediate acids and all by participating or interacting with the NADH, by losing and donating the protons H plus along with the electrons consequently in the course of the reaction, in the course of different reactions, in order to convert one substrate into a particular another substrate. So the H plus acts as basically we can say it acts as a cofactor along with the NADPH, that is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, in order to along with the enzymes that are needed to convert the intermediate sugars or the stable compounds that are produced in the course of C3 and the C4 pathways. Now the C3 cycles, as we mentioned, it occurs in all the plants. The C4 pathway occurs in C3 and it occurs in the C4 and the CAM plants, and the CAM pathway occurs in the CAM plants. Now the C4 plants, thus in the C4 plants, both the C3 and the C4 cycles happen. This C3 and C4 cycle both happens in the C4 plants, and in the CAM plants also both of these C3 cycle and the C4 cycle happens in the crassulacean acid metabolism plants. But there is a difference actually. As per with the normal photosynthetic theory, we know what happens is Okay, let me draw the diagram of the mesophyll cells and the bundle sheath cells. What happens in the CAM plants actually? Suppose if I draw the diagram of the mesophyll cell, a rough diagram of a mesophyll cell I am drawing. Okay, let us suppose this cell is particularly known as the mesophyll cell. And this one is the bundle sheath cell. Okay. So what happens in this particular cells are, this mesophyll cell is well adapted to operate the C4 pathway, the Hatch-Slack pathway, and the bundle sheath cell is adapted to operate the C3 pathway, as we know in basic photosynthetic cells. But here there is a difference actually. What happens is, during the photosynthetic phase, okay, photosynthetic phase where in the C3 pathway, what happens, the atmospheric CO2 and the CO2 that is coming from the other reactions of the glycolysis and the Krebs cycle, the CO2 intermediate or the byproduct that is being produced in the plant body due to the course of the aerobic respiration and also from the atmosphere, is being first taken by the atmospheric CO2 and the CO2 that is also coming from the starch hydrolysis from the glycoplasm of the other cells and also from the other mesophyll cells and the bundle sheath cells or the cytoplasm present in other cells of the plant body. The CO2 that is coming is fixed, is first, the CO2 that is coming is being first fixed by a stable acceptor called phosphoenolpyruvate. This is the first stable PEP, first stable acceptor of the CO2 that is coming from the atmospheric air, as well as that is coming from the other glycolysis and the Krebs cycle metabolism that happens in the other parts of the plant body, okay, other cells. Now this phosphoenolpyruvate, in the presence of the enzyme phosphoenolpyruvate carboxykinase, gets converted to oxaloacetic acid, okay, oxaloacetic acid. This oxaloacetic acid, in the course of the reaction, in the course of this cycle in the C4 pathway, what happens, this oxaloacetic acid in presence of oxaloacetic acid decarboxylase again gets converted to malic acid. And now this malic acid, what is the function of this malic acid? The malic acid gets converted to the malate ion. Malate ion gets converted to malate ion by losing its proton. That proton is taken up by the NADPH. Okay. That proton is taken up by the NADP plus, which forms NADPH plus H plus. Proton along with an electron from the malic acid. Now this malate ion in presence of the malate dehydrogenase gets converted to the pyruvic acid. Pyruvate. Okay, or the pyruvic acid. Now this pyruvate, what it does, pyruvic acid is itself having a CO2 molecule with itself. Now that CO2 molecule is being lost by the pyruvate. That CO2 molecule is lost by the pyruvate or the pyruvic acid, and the pyruvic acid itself again re-enters back into the Hatch-Slack pathway cycle, where it again gets regenerated into the phosphoenol pyruvate with the help of enzyme phosphoenol pyruvate carboxykinase. With the help of enzyme PEP carboxykinase, this pyruvate again gets converted into the phosphoenol pyruvate stable compound. So here, this was what was happening in the normal case of the C4 pathway in the carbohydrate metabolism of the plant body, where the CO2 that is coming from the glycoplasm of the other plant, the TCA cycle or Krebs cycle of the glycoplasm of the other cells that are present over here, the other cells that are present over here in other parts of the plant body, the cells that are present aligned, okay, other mesophyll cells and all, which are aligned and present here. So the starch or the triose, that is pyruvate, that is getting converted to phosphoenol pyruvate, and here also in the presence of the atmospheric oxygen, the glucose that is being formed in the C3 cycle, the C3 cycle that is forming the glucose or the starch that is dropping out in these other cells, that is dropping out, the starch or the glucose, the first stable compound that is dropping out, okay, that is dropping out from the C3 cycle of the bundle sheath cell is being again redirected to the formation of triose, is being reduced. The glucose is being reduced in a stable compound called phosphoglyceraldehyde with the help of triose phosphate isomerase or a triose 3-carbon compound, from where this triose compound again donates CO2, which is being taken up by the mesophyll cells in order to incorporate into the C4 pathway or the Hatch-Slack pathway. Now there is actually phenomena by which this CO2 transfer from one cell to another cell is being operated. So how does this operation happens? The CO2 transfer, the opening and the closing of the stomata, because the CO2, the stomatal pores generally help in what? Generally help in the gaseous exchange, right? And the chloroplasts that are present within the palisade parenchyma, that is the guard cells. These are the guard cells. These are the guard cells of the kidney bean shaped guard cells of stomata. Here, these spot-like structures, apart from the nucleus present over here, these chloroplasts which are the dot-like structures which are present within the kidney bean shaped stomatal opening, or these are known as the guard cells. Guard cells, and this pore is called the stomatal pore. This pore is called as the stomatal pore. Okay. This pore is called the stomatal opening or stomatal pore, through which the gaseous exchange happens. Now here one thing I need to mention is the stomatal pore here present here only helps in the gaseous exchange, that is the exchange of the O2 and the CO2 gases along with the atmosphere, and also in the water vapor during the transpiration and the ascent of sap due to the positive or the active root pressure. Sometimes in passive root pressure also or imbibition, this happens in the transport of plants, that the stomatal pore is helping out in the gaseous exchange, right? And the chloroplasts or the chloroplasts which are present in the guard cells, the chloroplasts are plastids, double membrane bound cell organelles called the plastids, which help in the photosynthetic reactions. The chloroplasts are containing the grana and the stroma, which are helping in the photosynthetic reaction in the within the thylakoid. The grana means the particles which are quantizing the photons of the atom. So that is helping in producing the H plus and OH minus, which is rather donating the H plus. The H plus that is produced here is getting donated here along with this acid xenon. In order the protons is getting donated with this acid in order to along with the enzymes that are present in these reactions NADPH, in order to convert those enzymes along with the cofactors with the protons and the electrons in particular other enzymes, so that these intermediate compounds can be produced. So the H plus of the protons also helps in creating the electrochemical pump or the proton gradient, and also acts as the cofactor of the NADP plus or NADPH together to assist the activity of the enzymes. And along with that, the H plus ions also present in this, the H plus ions of the protons helps in creating the proton gradient, which thereby helps in generating the ATP synthesis or chemiosmotic pathway that happens in the inner membrane of the mitochondria of the mesophyll tissue. Now, another thing is the OH minus ions, the minus radical, that is actually the electron that is being donated to the electron acceptor, either iron sulfur complex or porphyrin or the pheophytin, and then at last to the plastoquinone, and recycled into the same photosystem 1 or in the cyclic photophosphorylation, or into the photosystem 2 of the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, right? So the OH minus ion and the H plus ions are assisting in the conversion or fixation of the CO2 in the form of the carbohydrate. One is helping in generating the energy from ATP to ATP in the chemiosmotic pathway that is being required for the fixation of this CO2 molecule, and that is also required for the glycolysis and the Krebs cycle or the conversion of the pyruvate to the acetyl CoA that happens in the cytoplasm or cytosol of the cell. And another one, the H plus OH minus ions, those are required in different aspects of assisting the coenzymes as a cofactor or a radical or atom to help the conversion of the intermediate compounds in order to fix the CO2 in the form of carbohydrate, that is starch. So in the C3 plants, this CO2 is being directly fixed from the Krebs cycle into the starch, covering the entire C3 pathway, covering the entire C3 cycle. Okay, or the Kelvin-Benson cycle. Unlike this C3 pathway, the C3 plants, the C4 plants and the CAM plants, they are having the both C4 pathways also, in which CO2 is being first fixed by the C4 cycle, and then the pyruvate that is being produced by the C4 pathway goes into the C3 pathway. That pyruvate loses the CO2, and that CO2 is being fixed by the Kelvin-Benson cycle, ultimately reducing it to the starch or the glucose stable compounds and other intermediate compounds like xylulose, ribulose, pentulose, semipectulose, all those things. That's why this is C3 pathway is also known as the pentose phosphate pathway. Now, here, this opening and closing of the stomata, it's very important to understand the opening and closing of the stomata first. The opening and the closing of the stomata happens by the active K plus ion pumping theory. What happens in the normal photosynthetic cases, or generally in all the photosynthetic plants, in generally or in the maximum 95 to 98% plants, what happens is this malic acid that is produced, that directly enters into the vacuole present. Enters into the vacuole. That malic acid is being deposited into the vacuole. This is known as the vacuole. Vacuole of the mesophyll cells, mesophyll tissues. Okay, these bundle sheath cells are also a part of the mesophyll tissue only, but they are bundle sheath cells for a different name because they occurs in bundle-like fashion, and these mesophyll cells occurs in a loosely arranged in a centripetal fashion. Okay, they are not adhering to each other. This vacuole is present in the mesophyll cells where this malic acid get deposited in course of time. Where how this malic acid gets deposited? There is a theory called the active K plus pumping theory, of the opening of the stomata and the closure of the stomata, active closing of the stomata during the night time. So in almost all the photosynthetic plants during the daytime, this stomatal pore gets, how does it get open? So here is what the mechanism or the operation behind it working. The malic acid gets deposited within the vacuole. Here a large amount of the malic acid ions or the malate ions gets deposited here. Either the malic acid or the malate ion, this can also enter into the vacuole. And as soon as the malate ion enters into the vacuole, the osmotic concentration or the solute potential, that is psi S, the psi S, this becomes more negative. More negative means the negative value decreases more. More negative means, suppose there is a solute concentration, solute potential of 225 ions per mole. Ions per mole of solvent. Ions per mole of solvent. Okay. Now this 225 ions per mole, this is given in minus. Why this is given as minus? Because the osmotic solute potential is always opposite to the osmotic pressure, that is pi. The osmotic pressure pi is actually opposite to the solute potential but equal in magnitude. That's why the solute potential is denoted in the minus convention. Now this minus 225 is more greater compared to minus 200. The value of minus 200, the magnitude of minus 200 is greater than minus 225 because it is less negative. So it is more negative. Minus 225 is more negative. So the solute potential is increasing. The minus 225 ions per mole, this solute potential here is more than minus 200 because minus 200 is less negative. In that case, less negative means the solute potential is less. Okay, so the water potential would be higher. And more negative means the solute potential is more. So the water potential of the cell, of that particular cell, mesophyll cell or bundle sheath cell, whatever it is, in that case the water potential would be lesser in case of minus 225. Now this malate ion, when it enters into the vacuole, the malate ions or the malic acid malic ions or the malic acid, when it enters into the vacuole, it increases this osmotic potential psi s of the cell. Now when the osmotic potential psi s of the cell is increasing, what happens? This malic acid loses the protons, right? H plus, which is taken by NADPH. The electron and the proton both in the form of the hydride ion, in the form of this ion H plus E minus. Okay. Now the NAD plus, what it does, it carries this electron or the hydride ion and leaves out this proton here. This particular proton, it leaves out here, and the electron that is present here, that electron is attached as H along with the NADPH. So this particular proton drops out of what it does, it drops out of the cell. This malic ion also drops out the protons out of the cell. Okay. Now when these protons are dropping out of the cell, there is a proton gradient which is increased, because this is entire thing, all these things are happening, all the mesophyll cell C3-4 pathway, this C4 pathway and the C3 pathway, this entire thing is happening where? In the guard cells, in these cells. Okay, in these particular cells, guard cells, these are happening. Now when these malic ions are deposited in the vacuole and the protons are being liberated outside, convert from the malic acid, thereby converting into the malic ions, there is another ion which is called the K plus ion concentrations present outside the mesophyll cells, and along with this H plus, they together help in creating a proton pump of the K plus H plus potassium hydrogen pump. So in this case, when the concentration of the H plus ions are increasing more outside, okay, when the H plus ions are increasing more outside means where? In the subsidiary cells. These outside cells, these are the mesophyll cell and this is the bundle sheath cell, right? But this outside cell, these are called subsidiary cells. Subsidiary cells are actually the additional cells that are present within the mesophyll tissue of the kidney bean shaped guard cells of the chloroplasts. Now this is all I am talking about the normal plant hypothesis. I didn't even go in the crassulacean acid metabolism pathway now. This is also what happens in the crassulacean acid metabolism, but normally let me discuss about the C3 and C4 pathway that is happening in the guard cells firstly, in order to understand that how the pumping is working here and how the CAM plants are working differently. So what's the difference between the two? I need to point out that. So due to the creation of this pump, of this K plus H plus pumps, what happens? This K plus ions enters into the vacuole of the mesophyll cells. And when the K plus ions enters into the vacuole of the mesophyll cells, what happens? The osmotic concentration increases more. In that case, when the osmotic concentration increases more, it becomes hypertonic. In order to balance the concentration of the ions present within the mesophyll cells, what happens? Water vapor from the atmosphere or water from any other sources, H2O, from any other sources enters into the vacuole. This water from the atmosphere, water vapor, or the water that is being fixed by the photolysis of the water, or the during the light reaction, or the water that is being absorbed by the ascent of sap by the transpiration pull of the active root pressure, and also in the passive root by the passive root pressure when the imbibition happens or the ascent of transpiration pull happens. By the active root pressure and the passive root pressure, whatever it is, in which case is necessary, the water that is being absorbed by the roots of the plants are directly incorporated into the vacuole, because not only in the vacuole but also in the plant. Here entirely in the mesophyll cell itself, the water is being incorporated in order to balance the osmotic concentration. So the H2O molecules are entering in order to balance the hypertonic solution to make it isotonic in nature with the concentration of the subsidiary cells, with the concentration of the H2 and the K plus H plus ions present in the subsidiary cells. Okay, so when this happens, when the water enters, this is called process of endosmosis. When the water is entering into the cell, then the cells become turgid. The mesophyll cells become turgid, and when it becomes turgid, it is happening within the guard cells, right? These guard cells become too much tight in appearance, too much rigid in appearance, and when it becomes rigid in appearance, slowly the guard cells, kidney bean shaped guard cells, open up. That is when the kidney bean shaped guard cells are opening up after so much of this process, and it is helping in the light to come inside the chloroplasts of the grana particles, and also helping in the gaseous exchange of O2 and CO2. That is, it is absorbing the CO2 and giving out the oxygen or the O2 during the daytime. Now during the night time, what happens? During the night time, this pyruvate, which is entering into the C3 cycle of the plant body, right? This in the night time, in the C3, C4 CAM plants, whatever it is, this is a general reaction that is happening. The C3 cycle is a general reaction that happens in all the plants. The pyruvate is being first fixed to phosphoglyceraldehyde, where the this is a stable compound that is produced, where the first CO2 acceptor is Rubisco, RUBP. Now this Rubisco is being reduced to phosphoglyceraldehyde, which is a stable compound, which is furthermore reduced to starch. These starch molecules, those are being again liberated. Those starch molecules, again the starch glucose molecules are again liberated in the form of triose, reduced to triose, and the 3C compound. And this 3C compound, like pyruvate and all other triose molecules, with the help of enzyme triose phosphate isomerase, again helps in liberating the CO2. That is again taking part in the reaction in a cyclic manner, taking part in the mesophyll. So only after completing the C3 pathway in all the plants, the C3 pathway is very much necessary to happen in all the plants in order to generate the starch compound, because if the starch compound is not generated outside the cell, the starch compound will not go into the glycolysis phase or tricarboxylic phase in order to reduce to triose, and then in order to liberate CO2. With the CO2 formation is very much necessary in order to operate the C4 pathway as well as the C3 pathway itself. So the C3 pathway, irrespective of not having the photosystem 2 units happening in the dark reaction, the C3 pathway is very much necessary for all the plants, either the C4, either C3 or either CAM plants, in order to function the opening of the guard cells as well as the closure of the guard cells for the photosynthesis. Now during the night time, in the normal photosynthetic plants, what happens? The opening of the stomata, how it happens, we have got to know about that. Now at the night time, what happens? This CO2 that is being generated by these starch molecules after covering the C3 pathway during the dark reaction, the starch molecules get reduced to triose, and then triose gets liberates the CO2 molecule. Now the CO2 molecule, where is this guy going? The CO2 molecule, again at night time, what happens? Too much of CO2 enters into this mesophyll cells again. At the night time, the thing is different. The too much CO2 enters into these mesophyll cells again, and what the CO2 does, it helps in reverse pumping. It helps in reverse pumping of these K plus ions. It helps in reverse pumping of these K plus ions outside the vacuole of the cell. It helps in reverse pumping. Of the K plus ions outside the vacuole of the cell, thereby maintaining the osmotic balance. Okay, osmotic concentration balance or the solid potential balance. And when the K plus ions are coming out of the cell, so automatically the water which was entering into the cell in order to make it isotonic in nature, that water will also now go out of the vacuole. This is the vacuole structure. Now the water H2 molecules will also leave the vacuole. And once the H2O molecules are also leaving the vacuole of the mesophyll cells, in that case what happens, again this kidney bean shaped guard cells become flaccid. They become this, the flaccid means they have an uneven shape like this. Okay, this is what the flaccid structures of the kidney beans, the guard cells, the flaccid structures of the guard cells would be. They become very uneven and irregular shape, thereby leading to the closure of the stomata, of the stomatal pore. Okay, this is what happens during the night time. This is a general phenomenon for all the photosynthetic plants. Now I would discuss the CAM pathway, CAM plants, how they are functioning. So unlike this normal photosynthetic plants, in the CAM plants the things are a little bit different. In this case what happens is the guard cells which were getting operated, or opening and closing of the guard cells were happening in the normal photosynthetic plants, right, like we have seen. But in CAM cells what happened, the scenario is quite a bit different. The CO2 which was getting fixed in the mesophyll cell and in the bundle sheath cell in the CAM pathway, that is getting fixed in a different way. In the CAM pathway what happens, the starch that is being produced by the Kelvin C3 pathway, the C3 pathway or the Kelvin-Benzel cycle that is producing the starch, and the C4 pathway that is producing the starch molecules, that was getting reduced to the striose and then to the CO2, and then it was again entering into the mesophyll cells of the Hatch-Slack pathway. Here the thing is little bit different. How it is different? Because in the crassulinic acid metabolism what happens, the CO2 that is getting reduced from the C3 pathway, after coming from the C3 pathway, this pathway gets reduced to triose or 3 carbon compound, either the pyruvate or the phosphoglyceraldehyde, and then from the pyruvate generally triose is the 3 carbon compound that liberates the CO2 molecule, and that CO2 molecule from the starch, CO2 from the triose, CO2 that is coming from the triose, as well as this CO2 that is coming from the atmospheric air. Because what happens is, in this case what happens, the stomata, in the CAM plants way, the stomata remains open during the night time. Why? Because these plants, specifically the CAM cycle happens in the plants like the Opuntia, orchid and pineapple, pine, spruce, cedar, where if the climate is too much hot or the climate is too much cold. So in those cases, in the extreme climates, this CAM plant where the CAM pathway happens, they are well adapted to these situations. Why? Because the direct sunlight often falls too much higher in those cases in the xerophytic plants where the area is drought prone area, where the water is there is very scarce, and also in the dry area where also the water is present in abundant, but that is in frozen water. That is, the humidity is almost less, the air is heavy and dry. So getting a perfect amount of the atmospheric H2O or getting a perfect amount of the CO2 saturation from the atmosphere is very much less. So during the night time, when the temperature drops, what happens, the CO2 that is present, that is coming from the respiration of the atmospheric combinations of air and gases, that enters into the mesophyll cells or the C4 cells. Okay, now this at the night time, as I told, that the stomatal pores are open. These stomatal pores, the kidney bean shaped stomatal pores, the kidney bean shaped guard cells. These are the kidney bean shaped guard cells where the stomatal pore is lying in the middle here. Okay, these stomatal pores are open at night. Why the stomatal pores are open at night? Because the CAM plants, unlike the other normal photosynthetic plants, what they have done is the CO2 which is getting first fixed to the fixed by the phosphoenol pyruvate PEP, and then through the cycle of the C4 pathway it is getting converted to oxaloacetate OAA, and the oxaloacetate is getting converted again to malic acid. Okay, malic acid, and that malic acid, by donating the proton to the NADPH, gets converted to the malate ion. Malate ion is actually a negatively charged ion. By donating the proton, the protons are being taken away by NADP positive to the NADPH plus H plus. So this is what actually the proton is. This H plus is actually what the proton is, and this H plus is actually what the electron is. Now this malate ion, as we know, as per the normal cycles, what happens? This enters directly into the vacuole. Suppose this is the vacuole of the cell, it will enter here. The malate ion enters here, and now this malate ion, when it enters here, it increases the osmotic concentration of the cell. Now all this reaction, all this mesophyll cell and the bundle sheath cell in the CAM plants are reacting where? Are reacting within the guard cells of the stomata only. But in the CAM plants, these reactions are happening, this C4 pathway reaction is happening during the night time. This malate ion, unlike the normal photosynthetic plants, this C4 pathway, which was depositing the malate ion into the vacuole of the mesophyll cells, which was happening during the daytime due to the active opening of the stomata, and during the night time the reverse thing, the CO2 deposition was happening and the K plus ions were being pumped out and the H2O was being pumped out, which was making the closure of the stomata in the normal photos. But in the CAM plants, what happens? The CO2 is being deposited during the night time. Okay, the CO2 is getting converted or fixed during the night time, and malate ions get deposited during the night time. So the first CO2, remember the first CO2, this first CO2 that is helping in the opening of the stomata is coming from the triose, that is the reduced form of this Kelvin-Benson cycle, where the starch is getting reduced to triose. That is the first CO2 which is helping in the opening of the stomata or increasing the concentration of the mesophyll cells that are present in the guard cells. Okay, guard cells of, these are the guard cells. These are the guard cells of the parasite parenchyma in the upper epidermis of the leaves or the lower epidermis, whatever it is, or the modified shoot tissues. And the second CO2, after opening of the stomata, this second CO2 molecule is coming from where? It is coming from the atmosphere. Now once when the CO2 concentration is increasing within these cells, the CO2 is getting fixed to the malate ion repeatedly through the C4 cycle. This all is happening, all of this are happening during the night time. All of these reactions are happening during the night time in the C4 cells. Now once the malate ion gets deposited in the C4 vacuole of the mesophyll cells, the osmotic concentration increases, and unlike the normal photosynthetic plants, these plants, what they have done is, due to the increase in the osmotic concentration in normal photosynthetic plants, what used to happen? The H2O or water molecules used to enter into it in order to open the stomata. But here the reverse thing happens. The H2O molecules gets outside due to the transpiration that happens during the night. The H2O molecules are leaving outside the cell of the mesophyll tissues or the mesophyll cells from the C4 pathway or from the vacuole of the mesophyll cells. So why does this happen? Because this is quite a pretty advanced adaptability or evolution that has been adapted by the CAM plants or the crassulacean acid metabolism plants. Now the H2O molecules which is living during the night time, which is very strange, because we know that the H2O molecules, as per the normal theory, would enter into the transportation as per normal transportation of the plants or the cell functioning. The H2O would enter when the inside of a cell is becoming hypertonic or osmotic, the solid potential osmotic concentration is increasing more. But here totally opposite thing happens. Though the osmotic concentration is increasing more, but still the H2O is being liberated or emitted outwards in the form of transpiration in order to keep the plant more dry. So here the malate ion is getting inside the vacuole, but the K plus entry of the K plus ions, which was entering in the normal photosynthetic plants, unlike the normal photosynthetic plants in the crassulacean acid metabolism plants or CAM plants, this entry of K plus ions is totally denied. It does not happen. Thereby what happens, the osmotic concentration does not increases too much largely, so that the H2 molecule will traverse back into the cell for completing the process of endosmosis. Okay, the H2 molecules will go out completely. Right, because the liberation of K plus, generation of K plus ions inside of the vacuole within the mesophyll cell is not happening in the CAM plants. This is totally crossed. This is totally blocked. The pathway is totally blocked because the hydrogen potassium pump, this H plus and the potassium pump is not working in the CAM plants. This is what the pretty advanced adaptability of quite a pretty modern kind of adaptation, that quite pretty strange kind of adaptation that has been generated by the CAM plants. Now what happens? These as the osmotic concentration increases a little bit, that happens during the night time, and during the daytime what happens when there is a little bit of sunlight is there, or direct sunlight or oblique rays of sunlight, whatever it is falling on the CAM plants, closure of the stomata happens during the daytime. This is during the daytime, where the C3 pathway or the bundle sheath cells are functioning within the palisade or the spongy parenchyma of the mesophyll tissues in the leaf. What happens in this carbohydrate metabolism is the malic acid which was present within the vacuole, the malate ions which was present within the vacuole of the mesophyll cells. Now these malate ions are being from the vacuoles of the mesophyll cells through the plasmodesmatal pores, plasmodesmatal pores, the malate ions from one vacuole are being pumped out directly to the bundle sheaths, the vacuole of the bundle sheath cell. Okay, from here the malate ions are being pumped out to the vacuoles of the bundle sheath cell. Why? Because too much osmotic concentration of the malate ion increases, so the vacuole needs to pump out or eject out the excess of it. So excess malate ion gets pumped out into the vacuole of the bundle sheath cell. From here, what happens? The malate ions takes what it does. It incorporates a proton. The malate, in course of its cycle, the malate ion gets converted to malic acid by taking a proton. So the acid along with the proton H plus, which is being donated by whom? Again, that the thing is donated by NADPH. NADPH plus H plus. This proton actually gets donated to the malate ion, and the NADPH itself gets converted to NADP positive. So the proton along with an electron in the form of this hydride ion this form of electron along with the proton, this is the form of the hydride ion, gets donated from the cofactor or the electron transporter or electron carrier NADPH, which acts as the electron and proton donated to the malate ion. Okay, the malate ion is negatively charged radical, so the proton along in the form of hydride ion H plus is combining with the malate ion, which is forming the malic acid, and itself thereby losing an electron, which the malate ion requires an extra electron. All these intermediate steps, all these intermediary compounds requires extra electrons to get converted into a neutral form, because malate ion is having CO minus form. Okay, and H plus, it is requiring almost one extra proton or two extra proton, and the electron that is present with the hydrogen atom is being donated to the malate ion in the form of this hydride ion, which converts the malate to the malic acid. Okay, and now this malic acid COH, which is having the carboxylic group COH, the malic acid is entering into the C3 cycle. The malic acid is entering into the C3 cycle, where it is again getting converted to oxaloacetic acid. Reverse conversion of the malic acid happens, and it is getting converted to oxaloacetic acid. Okay, and this is happening in the bundle sheath cells. Okay, now this oxaloacetic acid is again getting reverse converted to what? To the phosphoenol pyruvate. This is again getting converted to the phosphoenol pyruvate. Okay, now this phosphoenol pyruvate, what it does, it also helps in keeping the CO2 molecules. At the night time, what happens is this phosphoenol pyruvate, okay, during the night time the CO2 molecule was deposited, and during the daytime what happens, the CO2 molecules get trapped along with the phosphoenol pyruvate. The COO, the C double bond or single bond, or the CO2 carbon dioxide molecules gets trapped within the bundle sheath cells or within the mesophyll shell of the mesophyll cells of the mesophyll tissues, that is gets deposited or concentrated within the bundle sheath cells, and thereby it increases the osmotic concentration of the cell, and it does not during the daytime. This as the osmotic concentration of the CO2 gets deposited, or the osmotic concentration of CO2 increases, and on the other hand the malate ion osmotic concentration decreases. So what happens is the water that is being liberated by from the glycolysis during the from the aerobic respiration, from the glycolysis or the Krebs cycle or other the absorption of the water or other intermediate chemical reactions happening in the plant body, that water molecules, those water molecules get trapped within the bundle sheath cells. So the water molecule which was living outside the C4 cell during the night time, the same water molecule during the daytime is getting trapped within the bundle sheath cells, or converting the C3 pathway. This actually the C4 molecules, the C4 pathway is getting also is happening within the C3 cycle. So what in the CAM plants, what they do is this C3 pathway is getting converted to the C4 pathway, where the intermediates of the C3 pathways, the ribulose, pentulose, xylulose, heptulose, are being warded off. So the entire C3 pathway is just like transitioning, having a transition towards the C4 pathway. Okay, that is happening within the bundle sheath cell, or it might happen within the mesophyll cells of the mesophyll tissue. So during the daytime, what happens? The bundle sheath cells leaves the malate ion, it's converted into malic acid, which is getting reconverted into oxaloacetic acid, reconverted into the phosphoenol pyruvate, and it is getting again reconverted to, at lastly, to the pyruvic acid or the pyruvate. Now that pyruvate in the course of reaction, the pyruvate in the course of reaction is getting converted to starch. through the, how pyruvate is getting converted to starch? Through the neoglucogenesis process. The reverse, that is from the process where the starch is formed from the non-carbohydrate sources. So pyruvate is the end product of glycolysis. Through the process of neoglucogenesis, the pyruvate, or through the process of the C3 pathway, I must say, the C3 pathway, the pyruvate is losing the CO2 molecule. So there are two pathways happening here. The pyruvate, it again loses one CO2 molecule. That CO2 enters within this C3 cycle, okay, or the pyruvate through the process of neoglucogenesis converts to starch, and the pyruvate when loses the CO2, this CO2 gets the C3 pathway, enters into C3 pathway and helps in formation of a stable starch or glucose compound. So all this glucose or the starch compound gets reduced to the triose. So this C3 pathway is also happening during the daytime, where the pyruvate liberates CO2 and that incorporates into the C3 pathway, or the pyruvate gets converted to starch through the neoglucogenesis. Okay, that is happening during the daytime, or the C3 pathway is adapting to have the reverse pathway of the C4 pathway, where in the bundle sheath cell only the C3 is phase transitioning to the C4 pathway. The C3 is converted to the C4 pathway. So there are the maximum work is happening during the daytime, where there are three different possibilities of occurrence of the three different cycles or operations. Okay, so the C4 pathway, which was happening during the night time, unlike the normal photosynthetic plants, is having a phase transition from the C3 pathway during the daytime in the bundle sheath cells of the same mesophyll tissue only. Okay, so it's not that the C3 pathway is likely to happen during the night time again. This C3 pathway will happen during the daytime only, because it is fixing the CO2, and the starch production or the glucose production is necessary during the daytime, which is thereby getting reduced to triose and liberating CO2. That is helpful for opening the stomata during the night time through the C4 pathway. So the C3 pathway has to occur during the daytime only. So in this way, when the malatine concentration decreases from the cell and the deposition of the CO2 increases, or the CO2 gets converted to the starch and all. So due to the increase in the CO2 deposition within the bundle sheath cell or the mesophyll cells, this H2O molecules cannot endosmose within the mesophyll cells or bundle sheath cells, which thereby makes the stomatal guard cells flaccid and closes the stomata during the daytime. Okay, so the stomatal cells becomes like this. Which closes during which closes during day. So these type of particular stomatas are known as the photoactive. Photoactive stomata, which are present within these plants. In all these plants, the pineapple, swine, spruce, cedar, the extreme cavity plants, these are present. So the C3 pathway is necessary for the conversion of the CO2 to glucose, and also for the pyruvate, for the phosphoenol pyruvate, which is the reverse pathway of the C4 that is happening in the bundle sheath cells of the CAM plants. Okay, is reducing the pyruvate to the malatides. The malatides get deposited within the vacuole, and the vacuole is due to the increase in the osmotic concentration, the decrease in the osmotic concentration. Here unlikely, the H2O molecules are getting trapped within the bundle sheath cells or the mesophyll cells, and thereby due to the endosmosis the cells become flaccid. Here due to the endosmosis the cells might become rigid, like in the normal cell functioning we know. But here almost different, completely opposite things happens. The CO2 in turn gets trapped, the osmotic concentration decreases, and this is a pretty quite modern adaptability. During the daytime, the stomatal pores remains closed. The stomach guard cells become kidney bean shaped guard cells become flaccid. So these type of stomata are called the scotoactive stomata, unlike the photoactive stomata, which is present in other general plants. Now, so this Malletine again, this is what it happens in the CAM plants. So the last thing is, last but not important, what is the crassulacean acid basically? You can see that if all the reaction, the entire reaction is happening oriented to the malletines only. Okay, malletines which is getting converted to malic acid, or the malic acid which is getting converted to the malletines. So the crassulacean acid is nothing but this malic acid only. So the malic acid is only crassulacean acid which is getting metabolized in this way in the CAM pathway in order to have a favorable adaptability of the CAM plants, completely different from the normal photoactive plants. Right? So if you like my video, this is the entire lecture of the CAM cycle. So if you like my video and the way of explanation or way of introduction in the detailed explanation or lecture, please don't forget to subscribe the channel and put a thumbs up in it. And if there are furthermore queries or questions, you can immediately directly message me or immediately drop it down in the text box for further knowledge or furthermore personal guidance. Okay, thank you.